the rocks. They show you your country is rich. You got the nerve to say that we're not qualified for a job? How the hell this dumb-ass devil was able to become president? If they try to hide that the real geniuses in America is us. We created all the inventions. We created the car, the AC, the stoplight, the air conditioning, the elevators, everything. But we get no credit. We get no credit. And guess what? We don't need no credit right now. Because the right now, y'all destroyed everything. Y'all love to call it Earth Day, and y'all done destroyed the earth. Y'all call us thugs, murderers, and killers, but you the real killers. Y'all call us thugs, murderers, and killers, but you the real thugs. Y'all call us killers, but you the real mass shooters. We never ever seen a black man pick up a gun and shoot at the school. Never. But you damn devils. Oh, you gonna learn the best. Right? You damn devils. What happened last time you was at the White House? Guess what happened? It was July 4th. 2 years ago, you had the Caucasian devil in Chicago, Hyde Park. There was a mass shooter and shot up 70 people. And it's a right boy, 23 years old. Huh? It was a white boy, 23 years old. And y'all call us the killers and the murderers. Right? But this mass shooter is coming from your people. This mass shooter is coming from your nation. Y'all are real killers. Y'all are real shooters. Y'all are real murderers. But y'all want to blame us. Y'all want to blame us. Well, we got newspapers and articles and proof. You got a young white cracker or a General Allen shooter in the making.
This year. Yeah. But remember, he wasn't ever here. This all the years.
Wow.
He paid him to be right there. Disrupt us. Yeah.
Y'all lose a job, y'all want to kill everybody. Y'all lose a job, y'all want to jump to the top of the damn Trump Towers and fly on down like a damn wrestling ring. Suicide bomb. Y'all lose a job and y'all want to shoot everything by you throughout the street. Why? You agree? Where you from? Huh? What's your nationality? Native American Indian? Okay. Okay. You want me to make an incident? School shooters? Right? These damn crackers comment on the damn building and they want to call us animals. They comment on the damn walls of Jericho and they want to call us gorillas and monkeys. Right? But if you take a white man and put him next to a monkey, they look the same. If you take a white man and put him next to a damn gorilla or chimpanzee, they look the same. But you want to call us monkeys. We might as well start throwing bananas at you damn devils, man. Right? Calling that, hey, who wants you now, boy? Right? Y'all are real shooters, man. From Chicago, a mass shooter, 23 years old, shot 70 people. And guess what? Let me get Psalm chapter 64, verse 6. Psalm 64, verse 6. And let me get Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Because we got the books to prove who you are. You got what? Who is Esau Edom? And the Roman Empire of the Edomites. We know exactly who you are. And we had to watch the destruction and the damn desolation of America, man. What you got? That's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, and verse number 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. What you look at? Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. So God told us to speak against your wickedness. God told us to rebuke your damn devils. Yeah, Mount Seir. That's why all throughout Washington, D.C. is like a mountainous range. Concrete everywhere. The way y'all set up the White House with the pillars is the same as Mount Seir. Because y'all the same powers back again. So God told us, set our face against Mount Seir. You devils can't run from the truth. To hell with Al-Qaeda. To hell with the jihadists. To hell with Mount Sing Dong from Japan. You better be scared of the 144,000 that's coming. Y'all can't run from the truth. Whenever y'all fall, we right behind your damn ass, mocking you. Whenever y'all destroy yourself, we right behind Most High, mocking your damn devil.
This devil, this here to be out here. They paid this devil out here to be out here to play this devil. He's never here though. He's never here every year. Nah, he end up leaving. He leave early. He end up leaving in an hour or something. Why you be here till dark? How much you want back? Roast is there if I can get a watch. You gonna be here till dark.
You want a real murderer. You want a real killer. And that's why you gotta go. Because whatever you touch on this earth, you destroy. You destroy. Y'all don't know how to live in peace. God give y'all land, give y'all air and water. We came over here fought with your lives, and they try to poison the water. The minute the Israelites stepped over here in DC, they said, breaking news, Amber Alert. Amber Alert. The water's poisoned. I wonder why. Like y'all did in Flint, Michigan. I wonder why. Like y'all do with the damn water in the showers. Y'all poison us. Why? Y'all trying to kill us. But you better thank God we got a Most High God. What you got, King? 64 verse 4. God. That's the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 4. That they may shoot in secret at the perfect. At the what? At the perfect. About that mass shooting? At the perfect. About that damn demon in Chicago? At the perfect. About Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden? At the perfect. So y'all trying to shoot at the perfect. Guess who the perfect? The children of God. Guess who are the perfect most high children on this earth? The blacks and Hispanics, the American, man. And you devils trying to break us. Y'all try to break us. But the thing with y'all compared to us, when it comes to us for pressure, we make diamonds. When it comes to the black and Hispanics, the American, when it comes to pressure with us, we make diamonds. When it comes to you damn devils, y'all burst like a damn pipe. Y'all break. Y'all can't handle pressure. That's why y'all losing your mind. None of you damn crackers can handle pressure, man. But y'all use us to build up America. But guess who's turning up the pressure now? What's happening to the earth? God is raising up the sun, the temperature. Why? Because the Lord is burning you damn devils out of the face of the earth. And guess who can handle the sun? We can. Because the sun was created for us. The sun was created for the children of God. But you damn devils, y'all suffer from leprosy. Y'all lack melanin pigmentation. Y'all cannot survive. Because the sun was created for us. The sun was created for the children of God. But you damn devils, y'all suffer from leprosy. Y'all lack melanin pigmentation. Y'all cannot survive. The sun was created for us. The sun was created for the children of God. But you damn devils, y'all suffer from leprosy. Y'all lack melanin pigmentation. Y'all cannot survive. The sun was created for us. The sun was created for the children of God. But you damn devils, y'all suffer from leprosy. Y'all lack melanin pigmentation.
All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. Still working it. Shalom.
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 Shalom, shalom. Still working out the Shalom.
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 Shalom. Still working out the
Shalom.
Shalom. Hey, Salakia, Kasaya,
Khan.
do you have because you're doing it on your laptop, right?
Yeah.
Do you have do you also have it on your phone as well? Or is it only on your laptop?
I think it's only on the laptop. Were you hearing the echo?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
but it's good now.
okay. Yeah, I X'd out and still getting out the the kinks and with the live stream. But
Yeah.
all right, we're
No,
all
I think it's clear right now. I think it's clear
okay.
now.
All right. So we're gonna get started because it's a whole lot of stuff from 2 weeks. 2 weeks worth of stuff. 2 weeks worth of situations, prophecies, news. So, not to be here till midnight. We're gonna get started. Yatai, are you available to read?
Con Adawan, give me a couple of minutes. Just getting in, settling in right now. Give me a couple of minutes. I'll chime back in when I'm ready, King.
Con. All right, so let me get the videos queued up, lined up. It's amazing, of course. All the things that's going on. We're gonna start with Amalek. All right, the top op, Amalek. Not is he only Esau, but he is the Edomites of the Edomites, right?
Salakia King.
Nationalities.
Do you have it on YouTube as well, or you just putting it on Zoom right now and then recording on YouTube later?
It's on YouTube now.
It's live right now.
Con.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it around too.
Con. All praises.
Yeah, I'm hyped.
Yes.
Bring it
out. Con. All right. So, just fresh off of July 4th rebuke, as you've seen, Salakia for the Echo, still working things out as far as the live stream goes. But as you can see, it was doing it. You know what I mean? The frankincense and myrrh was flowing. The Edomites were red and glowing and about to pass out. It was so hot. And again, cancer and all types of radiation from the sun. And we were sun-kissed. So it's a beautiful time. All right. This live stream right now. So we're live streaming on HOI class. All right, let's start with Joel 3, verse 12. All right, we're gonna start there, and we're gonna get this thing moving. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try not to just settle in on one thing for so long because it's so much. Okay. But everybody else get Joel chapter 3 and verse 12, and everybody has to say Con. Yeah. All right, book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that says all the heathen. So nobody's allowed to take break. Nobody's allowed to, you guys go, I'm going to stay back here. It's not what's happening. But Amalek, the ultra-Orthodox Jewish people, Amalekites, to top op, thought they were going to sit this one out. No, you're not. You're going to have to come in and fight too. Grab yourself a gun, put down those black hats, and get ready to fight. So, of course, this is going to be protected by the Fair Use Act. The Fair Use Act. This is protected by the Fair Use Act. All right. So, it's teaching. We're teaching. We're learning. So, relax. Fair Use Act. Relax. All right. So let me share my screen, and we will get this thing situated. What's going on with Amalek? Remember, all the heathen roundabout, not just a few. Let's go.
I want to return to our other breaking news in the last hour. Israel's Supreme Court has ruled that there is no legal basis for excluding ultra-Orthodox men from the military draft, and that those who are eligible for service must be drafted. Well, let's go live to our Middle East correspondent, Yolan Nell, who is in Jerusalem. Yolan, just explain what the court has ruled this morning.
Well, this is a decision by the Israeli Supreme Court, basically saying that after a legal arrangement expired that allowed ultra-Orthodox Jewish men to avoid conscription in the military, that really there is no reason for them now not to be conscripted. And this could affect tens of thousands of men, and also will affect the funding, the public funding that goes to the Jewish seminaries where they've been studying. If they continue to have students who are avoiding military conscription. So this really has wide ramifications in Israeli society, where 12% of the population now, a growing percentage of the population, are ultra-Orthodox Jews. And it's something that will have real political implications too, with ultra-Orthodox Jewish parties playing a key role in the governing coalition. For them, this is really the number one issue, to avoid ultra-Orthodox Jewish men from serving in the military, to allow them to dedicate their time to religious study instead. And it is something, it's not totally clear at the moment what the ramifications of all that will be, but certainly it could lead to large numbers of men being called up. And it comes at a time, such a important ruling, which is an issue that's been going on for decades, really, causing divisions in Israeli society. But it's really come to a head at the time of the war in Gaza, where we've got Israeli military leaders saying that there is this huge strain on the military, and they have a shortage of manpower, a shortage of combat soldiers.
Yes, you mentioned the ramifications, particularly for Benjamin Netanyahu in the government at the moment, while the war in Gaza is continuing.
Indeed, and there had been sort of attempts in the past by the Supreme Court to put this issue back to Parliament, to allow Parliament to rule on exactly what should happen for ultra-Orthodox men, whether they should continue to be allowed to be exempt from the military. But there has been a failure for that to happen. Even with this current government, you can see within the coalition that there are real splits on exactly what should be allowed in terms of exemptions. And that has led really at a committee stage to Parliament just kind of holding off on new legislation, even at a time when, as I say, these legal arrangements had expired. So there was now no framework, the Supreme Court said, to allow ultra-Orthodox men to continue to be exempted. Now, in Israel, I mean, just as a bit more context, the army is really seen as being the people's army, a place where people from all walks of life go to share a joint experience in their late teenage years. And that is really what is seen as being the strength of the Israeli army. And at the beginning of the state of Israel, the late 40s, it was just a tiny percentage of ultra-Orthodox Jews. And so allowing them to have exemption after the population was really just so badly affected by the Holocaust was not seen as being a big issue. But as the ultra-Orthodox Jewish population has grown and grown, demographics have changed in Israel, this idea of sharing the security burden more equally has become a really hot political topic.
Yolan Nell with the latest there in Jerusalem. Thank you.
All right. Yes. So, Amalek, guess what? Grab your guns and go to the front line. Your country needs you. All right. So, all praises to the Most High. They thought they was going to skate by. They fight a lot of amongst each other, you know. So now it really elevated, you know. They are in the streets rumbling, you know. Water cannons are being dispersed, and ultra orthodox little curls are just flying all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It's rough. You know, you think you had problems, and you know we're talking about how just pretty much everybody right now is talking about the draft. Okay, every Western country right now, because they don't have a strong military. Yatai was bringing it out at camp. In the 1970s, America had 400,000 volunteer force, you know, around the time of Vietnam or maybe before Vietnam or whatever, right around the 70s. Now it's 70,000. So that's a huge, you know, a huge drop off from where they are to where they're at. So best believe when this thing pops off, sons and daughters will be getting drafted. You know, notice I said sons and daughters. All right. Every country right now is talking about drafting women as well. So one thing that men that you know it's difficult to find a rib right now. The women might be saying, you know, I want to concentrate on my goals. You know what I mean? I want to concentrate on my future, meaning like work. You know what I mean? I gotta my career. You know, career women. It's kind of gonna all come to the end. You know, to a screeching halt. during World War III, because now that career is going to be definitely put on hold, and there's going to be women drafted. And one thing that's in it, you know, people are saying like, I have a religious exemption and all that. Sounds good. You know what I'm saying? We'll see about that. Because of course, when you look at Ukraine, it's like a microcosm of what's to come. If they need you, they're going to grab you out of your car on your way to work or whatever. You're like, oh, I got a religious exemption. They're like, sure you do. You're going to the front line then. You know what I mean? They don't care about religion. America doesn't listen to its own laws. But one thing that's going to prevent women from getting drafted is being pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So when it talks about 7 women, which is completion, will take hold of 1 man, you can only imagine like, yo, I don't want to go to World War III. let's I'm ready to settle down. You know what I mean? That energy is going to be everywhere at that point in time. So gentlemen, just be patient. Okay. Can't say the same for Amalek. They are right now in their in the process of, they lost their court case. So let's go to Psalm chapter 2, verse 1. I'm going to get the book of Psalm chapter 2, verse 1. And it reads, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. So these people have really, and they take crafty counsel and say, you know what, we're the real Jews. You know what I mean? Those people I don't know what you're talking about, even though our DNA comes from Eastern Europe and everything. Well, matter of fact, they don't even allow them to get DNA testing in Israel. So you can see that, they obviously have things to hide. Right? But why are they raging? Let's see if we can find out through this video. This is a lot of Amalek on Amalek crime. That Amalek and Amalek crime is way out of hand at this point. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to march in the streets and hold hands or something. I don't know where the fathers are. I believe it's a lot of welfare involved. Because if you look at the last video, they were saying how they're gonna take away their money for funding if they don't join the draft. It's what we call welfare. You know what I mean? So these welfare queens are in the middle of the street fighting amongst each other. I'm sure they got crack pipes in their pockets, a lot of dope, you know what I mean? A lot of dopers out there. And, maybe if they get an education and pull themselves up by their bootstraps, maybe they wouldn't be fighting in the middle of the street. Okay, I'm just saying. Like a bunch of savages. Let's continue. They should really just comply with the police. You know what I'm saying? But that savage nature, it goes against all rules and order. Light them up.
I'm here to support the cause over here against Biden drafting to the army. I believe that as much as we need an army in Israel, we also need the army of people sitting learning Torah. They're doing a lot, and we can't have them draft. We need the Torah in the country. We need the Torah, and As far as I believe, it's a bad decision to try and stop that.
We came now to fight the enemy that are killing the Jews, and they want to take us all. So, so we have to fight them because we don't want to go to the army. So that's the only thing we have to do. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, so if you read in the bottom of the the ticker or the line or whatever is talked about, it's compulsory service for men and women. So America's like the only place that's saying no draft. What? Even though we just put that in selective service guidelines, you know what I mean? That's not, don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? So America never tells you the truth. All the other nations like, yo, just prepare. Okay, we're gonna need you, and men and women. So let's go, let's continue on. Psalm chapter 2 and verse 4. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. So they're in derision right now. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's hilarious to see them wrestling in the streets. Am I supposed to be God's chosen people with them little curly locks, and they need to fight and all this other stuff. They look just silly. Shalom, Yatai. So you got your hand up?
Khan, Anwan, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, all right. Khan, let's go to Numbers. He said we need the Torah. Yes, you do. Let's go to the Torah. Let's go to Numbers chapter 24 and verse 20. They definitely need the Torah. So we're going to read it to them. I don't know if they actually read this line before, but
Hey,
saw.
Salakia, okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know why is Amalek worried? Aren't they God's children? Isn't God going to protect them on the battlefield? Like,
Khan,
why are they scared? What's going on?
It's beyond me.
Why are they nervous?
Yeah, they look nervous. Their face, you know what I mean? They're sitting there
Right.
dancing in water with the water cannons. First bath they had all month, I'm sure.
Did they
Yeah, they should
forget
be
the
happy.
actions of their forefather King David? What? You got to remember that. And
God,
Hezekiah, why are they nervous?
no, yeah, they should be ready to go.
Right.
The Lord teaches their hands to war. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's beautiful. They're going to get wiped out. As you can see, that they don't seem the fit type. Not sure and even know how to use a firearm or hand-to-hand combat, but it's gonna be fun to see. Watch those numbers go up, because Hezbollah likes to get it in. They've been training their entire lives, and the Orthodox, they're going to be on the front line catching bullets because they're not going to be able to do anything. Beautiful time to be alive. Let's bring that out. Numbers chapter 24, verse 20.
Khan, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 24 and verse 20. When everybody have it, please say Khan.
Khan.
Khan, verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
Yeah, I think Amalek might know this one. You know what I mean? They heard this one before. So they know they're not God's chosen people. So they're going to go out there and be can fodder for the IDF. So, and they don't like each other anyway. You know what I mean? I think collectively they all know who they are. And the violence against thy brother Jacob can be cut off forever. All right, so let's get Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11. Now we started off with a comedy routine with Amalek, being really upset that they're going to war. But we got to get ourselves together. All right, this next story talks about that. This sister went across the world, not across the world, but down in the Caribbean to learn yoga, to be a yoga teacher. We're not doing any yoga. You know what I'm saying? The standing pose dog, you know what I mean? The strange way they, put their leg up on there with Krishna and all this other stuff. That's not us. Okay. That is Elam, and let them have it. Let them have that weird stuff. But we got to stick to these law, statutes, commandments and not falter. All right. There's a difference between meditation and yoga and all these other, the strange poses is, it's conjuring up demons. You don't need that. All right. Let's bring that out. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11.
Con, this is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 11. Everybody have it? Please say con.
Con.
Con, verse 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
Con. So, our people might be into yoga. It's like, hey, you don't have to do that. All right. You want to stretch? Go stretch. You know how to do the standing cat pose and the dog walk or whatever, you know what I mean? Yoga pose that has been made up, for centuries. You don't have to do that. Okay. So reprove them. Listen, you can meditate. You can meditate on the word, you could concentrate on your breath. You know what I'm saying? Clear your mind, you know what I mean? Give your mind a break, but you don't have to do yoga. Okay. Sit peacefully, put your hand in your hand, cross your legs, breathe. So your sides expand and go up to about here with your chest, and breathe out through your nose. Do that for 10 minutes. You're meditating, go read some scriptures. That's a great feeling. But all that yoga stuff, no, unnecessary. Okay. So what happened? What did the Most High do? Judgment. At that point, they don't know what happened to the sister. But let's hear, we're going to get to the first, maybe first 5-10 minutes of this story. It's a 20-minute story, but just so you get the gist. And nobody cares about her. You know what I mean? Nobody's looking for her, but they'll tell you that in the story.
Retreat Center, Taylor.
Hey everybody, this is Brian. I am here in the Bahamas, in Nassau. We're on Nassau Island. Paradise Island is behind me, and we've been here all week covering this really mysterious case of a missing woman, a missing 41-year-old woman from Chicago, Illinois. Her name is Taylor Casey, and it's a disturbing case. I've been digging into it for the last several days here. She is from Chicago, 41 years old, really into yoga. Came here to the Bahamas to take part in a yoga retreat. The name of the resort, the retreat, it's called Sivananda Ashram, and it's on Paradise Island. If you're familiar with Paradise Island, that's where Atlantis is, that big tourist resort. So this is on the same island, but it's on the western edge of the island, really like a much more uninhabited side. There's no way to get there unless you go by boat, or you have to walk down a long beach to get to this resort where she was staying. And she was there trying to get an advanced certification in yoga. She'd been doing yoga for 15 years, came to the Bahamas to get this certification. It's a very popular place, by the way, endorsed by Gwyneth Paltrow's goop lifestyle brand. They called it otherworldly. So people come from all over the world to go to this center. I went out there to see it for myself. First, I want to show you what that was like. Take a look. It's not easy to get to the Sivanandra Ashram, the yoga retreat where Taylor Casey was staying. There's really no roads to get there here on Paradise Island, on this part of the island. So the only way that we could find is to walk down the beach. So we made it to the ashram where she was staying. You can see it's pretty quiet right now, but there are people still staying here. There's some smaller buildings on this side. There's larger buildings over here, and it's very, very close to the Atlantis Resort. Those big pink buildings in the distance, that's a big, big tourism destination here on Paradise Island.
I'm not seeing anybody searching on the beach.
Yeah, there is nobody searching. No, I haven't seen anybody searching either. That's why I was surprised you didn't say. I was thinking there'd be like flyers.
Oh, well, you can go in there.
Hi. Do you know have anything new about the missing woman, Taylor Casey? No? Okay.
So you won't get any information from us this evening?
Can I leave my card? Is that okay? My business card? Okay. So the thing that struck me the most was that there were no posters out there of this missing woman. And I get it. Look, it's obviously a business and they're probably nervous about scaring the guests, but I guess I was expecting people to at least know that there was a missing woman and that there would be some posters there, and there were none from what we could tell. I've been now since talking to people who are staying there and who have been staying there. They've been getting in touch with me through Twitter. And some women that I met have actually left since all of this started, just upset that they weren't informed that there was a missing person. And upset, they say this whole resort prides itself on community and belonging, and they just felt like with the values that they have, that they preach there, that there should have been some kind of prayer circle or something about this missing woman. And you're going to hear from her family in a second. Her family is now here on the ground. I just interviewed them here in the Bahamas. They came from Chicago. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about this ashram yoga resort, because I talked to a woman who just left, and I took some notes of what she said about it. She said there's all sorts of rooms. You can rent a tent and camp out. There's also beachfront rooms. You have your own bathroom, and then there's the tent huts. And we believe that Taylor, the missing woman, may have been staying in one of the tent huts. She said that it's a strict schedule every day at this place. There's a spiritual gathering from 6 to 8 a.m., yoga class from 8 to 9:45. They do brunch, which is all vegetarian. And then there's classes throughout the day. There's a 4 p.m. yoga class, 6 p.m. dinner, 8 p.m. 40-minute meditation and chanting, and then another lesson. She said that there is internet there, but it gets turned off during the spiritual meetings, that it's all inclusive. I guess when I was curious what the price was, when you rent a tent, it's $80 a night, goes up to like $500 a night for one of the private rooms. If you want to leave, you have to reserve a spot on a boat. It's the only way to get on and off the island. And she told me that the boat operator said that he was the one working and that he did not see the missing woman ever leave the island, which was interesting. She said that they tell you there the beach walks are not safe. They urge you not to leave the ashram at all, but people leave because there's no coffee there. And, if they want to go get something, they'll have to leave for that. Basically, she was upset that this is another woman who was staying there, that they weren't informed about what happened. In terms of Taylor's family, Taylor's mom is now here in the Bahamas. She's come with a contingent of Taylor's friends from Chicago to dig for answers, to try to figure out what happened to her daughter. I just interviewed her. Take a look at this. Tell me a little bit about your daughter. I was telling you online, there's so many messages of people who know her and love her.
Yeah, do you have time? Because it's gonna, no, my daughter is wonderful. Taylor is just absolutely marvelous, loving, caring, kind, just care about people, stands for justice, stands for right, just want people to be treated fairly. And Taylor is the pillar of our family. They say I am, but I'm not. It's Taylor. It's Taylor.
And she loves yoga?
Loves yoga. That's why she came here. That's why Taylor came to, the Savannah and Sivananda yoga, retreat to learn how to come and be instructor. Taylor not only wanted to just do it, now Taylor wants to teach and teach me some moves. Taylor said, Mom, I'm coming home and show you some moves. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Was she looking forward to it? Like, was this a trip she had been talking about?
Absolutely. You know, for months before Taylor even came here. You know, I'm going to do the yoga, you know, and I was concerned then that Taylor decided to come by Taylor's self but, you know, yeah.
And Taylor was at the yoga retreat center. Taylor was not, wandering around the Bahamas by herself. Taylor was at the yoga retreat, had arrived on June 3rd,
Yes.
and then was reported missing on June 20th. And so Taylor, throughout that time, had been with the other participants of the yoga teacher training at Sivananda.
And how was it going? Had you been in touch?
Yes, Taylor would call me and send me pictures. Taylor seemed like really happy at the place, and send me pictures of Taylor in the water and explaining to me about the yoga and what Taylor was going to teach me when Taylor got here. Yeah, it seemed to be going good.
And how did you find out that she was missing?
The yoga retreat called me. Someone from the yoga retreat called me and asked me, have you heard from Taylor? And I'm like, I'm looking at the phone now because what do you mean, have I heard from Taylor when Taylor is with you? This is what I'm thinking, And I said, yeah, I heard from Taylor. And I told them what day that I heard from Taylor. Yeah.
And they said that she was missing?
They were concerned because Taylor missed a few classes. Yeah, missed like a whole day. That's what she said. Taylor missed a whole day of class.
Okay, so the update is they found her cell phone 50 feet underwater. Okay. What happened to that woman? Only the Lord knows, you know what I mean? But one thing you got to keep in mind, Esau doesn't care, you know what I'm saying? This isn't a priority. Now, let's see if you remember this person. Okay, made headlines about 20 years ago. Reason why I know this person, because they wouldn't shut up about her, right? This is what I'm talking about. Natalee Holloway, right? The disappearance of Natalee Holloway. Disappeared May 30th, 2005. Declared dead January 12th, 2010. Was an 18-year-old American high school graduate, right? I don't know if they're calling Taylor an American, she's from Chicago, right? She disappeared in the Caribbean in the island of Aruba, May 30th, 2005. Her disappearance resulted in an international media sensation, especially in the United States. That's what I wanted to talk about. The prime suspect, Dutch national, Johan van der Sloot, made conflicting statements about her, involvement. International sensation, like it was all over the place. You couldn't, Natalee Holloway, you know what I mean? How many people on here know who the sister Taylor? How many people heard that name? You know what I'm saying? So it's not all equal, especially when things like that happen, as far as us being disappearing. All right. So no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't be doing yoga, shouldn't be doing any type of thing that goes outside of the scriptures. All right. Very dangerous time period. You could end up missing. And her mom had to come in from Chicago to look for her daughter. Nobody else is doing it. And you know, that's one thing. Like if somebody dies, that's one thing. But if somebody's missing, you always expect them to be knocking on the door if they're calling you on the phone. So it's a very difficult situation to have a loved one that ends up being missing. All right. So we got to stick to the script, Israel. All right. Let's go to Psalm chapter 73 and verse 3. So like I said, I'm going to try to go through these videos because it's a lot. You know, you miss 1 week and, you know, it becomes, you know, overwhelming the amount of things that happen in a week's time. You know, these are prophetic times we're living in. All right, let's bring that out. Psalm chapter 73 and verse 3.
Con, this is the book of Psalm, chapter 73 and verse 3. When everybody have it, please say Con.
Con.
God.
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 Con, verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked.
God. So this is ASAP talking about, you know, checking out the prosperity. Look at this. Look at Donald Trump. Look at these look at Elon Musk. Look at these foolish people that have all this money, all these funds, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm.
So there's no pain in their death, you know what I mean? They go like Rockefeller, you know what I mean? 95 years old, had 1 million heart attacks and surgeries, you know, I would say Queen Elizabeth, you know, that's supposed to be the narrative that she died peacefully and everything, but she died of bone cancer. And to my understanding, you know, the inside view upon that is that she dealt with pain, but still, you know, she was 1,000 years old, you know what I mean? Stuff like that happened, right? Go ahead, can we read verse 5?
Verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
So they, you know, they don't have to deal with the stuff that everybody else has to go through. And these people are foolish, you know what I'm saying? They're wicked. All right, but let's see what happened now. The Supreme Court said, hey, you're the president, you can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Even the Supreme Court, people that opposed it, which I don't think was many, are like, we shouldn't be able to have a king. Well, guess what? You do. And you always had a king. Now it's just in writing that when you're president, you could tell your constituents to go into the Capitol and hang Mike Pence. You know, you could say whatever you want. Tell Mike to do what's right. You know what I mean? They come there with gallows and nothing will happen to you. All right, welcome to America. And here's the reporting on that.
Breaking news right out of the gate at noon on one of the biggest Supreme Court cases of the year. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joel Brown. Amber has the day off. And we start in Washington. The U.S. Supreme Court late this morning ruling former President Trump may claim immunity from criminal prosecution for some of the actions he took in the waning days of his presidency. Michael Perchik on it for us. He's following the case and breaking it down for us this afternoon. Michael.
Hey, Joe, that Supreme Court ruling recognizing former President Donald Trump's immunity claim for official acts as president, though rejected it for unofficial acts. The majority opinion delivered by Chief Justice John Roberts states, while the president is not above the law, that he may not be prosecuted for exercising his core constitutional powers, and he is entitled to at least presumptive prosecution for his official acts. Still, it states that Trump is asserting a far broader immunity than the limited one we have recognized. And in the dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor countering that it makes a mockery of the principle foundational to our Constitution and system of government that no man is above the law. Joel, this 6-3 decision will impact whether or not Trump ultimately faces a federal role for his role in the January 6th insurrection. Trump issuing a short statement following that decision on Truth Social, posting, "Big win for our Constitution and democracy. Proud to be an American." Now, we are gathering more reaction to this decision. We'll have updates throughout the day, both on air and online. I'm Michael.
All right. So Trump can do whatever he wants. Thus says the Supreme Court, not thus says the Bible, not thus saith the Lord. So he's going to pay for the things that he's done in his life. And, you know, he's no way getting around that. But here in America, here, that where the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, they're like, hey, man, do whatever you want. Okay. So welcome to America, land of the freedom, home of the quote brave, right? Let's go to 2 Maccabees chapter 15 and verse 8. So Esau is in his element. He can do what he wants, and no reprisal, no nobody to tell him that he can't, what he can and cannot do, or what he can't do, Salakia. So they always help out each other, whether he's the president of the United States or some college student accused of assault on a woman, and the judge saying that jail's not a good thing for him. He's not gonna do well in prison. Well, don't do things that can get you in prison. But whether it's somebody on a lower level to the president and everyone in between, this is how they get down. All right. But the Most High will avenge. And let's get that. Let's get to 2 Maccabees chapter 15 and verse 8.
Khan, this is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15 and verse 8. When everybody have it, please say Khan.
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 Khan, verse 8. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they have received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid which should come unto them from the Almighty.
So we got to look in the past, you know what I'm saying? How the Most High took care of us. Did we actually lift a finger to fight the Egyptians, to drown them in the Red Sea? You know what I mean? Moses lifted up his staff, but all those plagues, all the things that Egypt had to go through, the Assyrians, 185,000 of them taken out in the night by an angel. When you look in the past in the scriptures, it doesn't take us, to necessarily physically do anything, rather than knowing that the Most High is going to take care of things. You know what I'm saying? He fights our battles. We go, and do the cleanup. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, we were singing and dancing on the way down there, and it took days just to get the spoils, just to get everything that the things that the dead people, after they killed them, they started destroying themselves, that they left. It took days for us to get it. Okay, so I say that to say, be still, right? Be still. The Most High got all this. We just got to figure out how we can sin less every day. Sin less. All right. To a point we on a road to perfection. So what happened in poor South Korea, Seoul, South Korea? Remember, they had no problem getting our brother and bringing him all the way over there, thousands of miles away, for a case 15, 20 years old, or you know what I mean, something like that. So the Most High is going to continue to plague them. And anytime I see something happen to South Korea, trust and believe I will bring it to the forefront in the Wednesday wake-up call, because I don't like them. All right, so let's continue.
At least 9 people died and 4 others were injured when a car plowed into pedestrians.
Salakia. Let me do that again. My bad. All right, here we go.
At least 9 people died and 4 others were injured when a car plowed into pedestrians in downtown Seoul on Monday night. The driver is reportedly blaming sudden unintended acceleration for the accident. 이승재 searches off.
A devastating scene in downtown Seoul on Monday night when a car drove into a group of pedestrians waiting at a crosswalk. Police say 9 people were killed and 4 others were injured in the accident near Seoul City Hall at around 9:27 p.m. The driver, a 68-year-old man, is blaming sudden unintended acceleration for the accident. However, a witness at the scene is saying otherwise.
마지막에 말 준 거예요. 저기 앞에서 다치고 나서 걸치고 나서 그 앞에서 급발진 차량은 사고 난 차일 때 알잖아요. 첫 번째라도 나가야 되잖아요. 그거 없어서 그냥 거기서 딱 멈췄어요.
Another expert said that the driver did not try to avoid the pedestrians, as you would in case of a sudden acceleration, adding that the deadly accident could have simply been caused by a mistake or carelessness. The vehicle was also seen driving in the wrong direction and collided with 2 vehicles before hitting people. Police who apprehended the driver said he was not under the influence of alcohol. Investigators are not fully ruling out the possibility of issues within the car, considering the speed, reportedly 100 kilometers per hour, involved. Police say they will swiftly carry out the investigation based on statements from the driver and witnesses, CCTV and security camera analysis. 이승재, 아리랑 뉴스.
Easingjen. Okay, so 9 people, that's a lot of people to die, underneath a car, and 4 other people injured. And not the injury like you stubbed your toe on the coffee table. It's kind of like you got ran over by a car. So Death Angel's out. Most High used I don't know his name, Xi Jinping or whatever, to sudden accelerate in his car. You know what I'm saying? And took out a bunch of South Koreans. So that's how that happened in South Korea. Let's continue. Okay, let's go to Baruch chapter 4 and verse 32. Because one thing that the Most High will do is avenge his people. All right, we just got to keep that in mind and be able to look out for the signs of when these things occur. All right, let's get that. Baruch chapter 4 and verse 32.
Khan, this is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 32. When everybody have it, please say Khan.
Khan.
Khan, verse 32. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons.
Khan. So it's actually an accident that I picked Baruch. You know what I mean? Not even thinking about the previous story, but that's the spirit. No accidents, right? Go ahead. Verse 33.
Verse 33. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, Salakia, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation.
Khan. All right, so let's see what happened in Chicago during a pride parade. Salakia.
Yeah, Judy, Chicago police saying they made a total of 53 arrests. 14 of those people are being charged with felonies. And this all happening, these mass arrests happening 10, 11 hours after the Pride Parade ended on Sunday. Still, some businesses telling me they're reconsidering even staying open the day of the parade because of those arrests.
We just locked our door for 2 hours while the parade happened because it was too crazy. It was too chaotic.
This video from Clark and Belmont at around 1:30 this morning shows police declaring a mass arrest situation as people clashed with officers in the street. It came as people continued to party into the night after the Pride Parade was long over in the Lakeview neighborhood.
People are climbing up on our windows, trying to hang from the awning to get a better view. I mean, this is not the only spot to see the parade.
Chris Carunzos, the owner of Modern Grill, says when chaos ensued, she had to put up these wooden panels to keep people from breaking the windows. She was thankful for the police presence, but others thought it was unnecessary.
I would go as far to say there should be no cops at Pride.
Ethan Schott says the heavy police presence took away from the spirit of Pride.
Every party is going to have some risk factors.
44th Ward Alderman Bennett Lawson releasing this statement this morning saying, following the parade's conclusion, I was extremely disappointed to see disruptive actions in our neighborhood into the early morning hours. Carunzo says it's not the police, but people who disrespect those working during Pride that take away from what is meant to be a joyful day.
Police were here. They were in force. I couldn't believe they had helicopters. How many police were here? But like I said, it used to be fun. It's no longer fun.
Nearly one.
Can you read that again? Verse 33.
Verse 33. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation.
Go ahead.
For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning.
Okay, so it used to be fun. Well, it ain't no more. All right. Your pride is has been taken away. The joy of pride, the spirit of pride, they said. What's the spirit of pride? It's the spirit of the devil. Okay.
Disappointed to see disruptive actions in our neighborhood into the early morning from what is meant to be a joyful day.
Police were here. They were in force. I couldn't believe they had helicopters. How many police were here? But like I said, it used to be fun. It's no longer fun.
Well, Pride Chicago weighing in on this, them telling me that the feedback they received both from spectators and those who were actually in the parade was overwhelmingly positive. They say it was a day full of celebration and joy.
Watch.
Well, and 53 arrests. So the city is going to be miserable that have afflicted us. Okay, that we have served. And no more peaceful pride parades. It was a major rumble and shooting later on in the Philadelphia Pride Parade. At the very end, here you go in New York. This is New York, but New York had a huge fighting the cops and, rumbling each other. And then here you have it down in Chicago, same thing. So starting to realize that these thugs, maybe their permits need to be canceled. You know what I'm saying? For the safety of everyone involved. All right, so let's go now to Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 37. Talk about celebrations. Elam is a very prideful heathen. You know what I'm saying? Their pride, obviously Esau's pride is, well, way up there. Elam is extremely prideful as well. You know what I'm saying? Not to compare the pride, you know what I'm saying? But Elam really thinks that, they could do no wrong. Almost like they don't have a river of trash going through Bangladesh. It's a river full of trash. There's no water there. It's just nothing but trash. The weird rituals they do with cutting themselves and dung and all this other stuff, you'll think they'll be a little bit more humble. And also, sexual assaults are astronomical when it comes to Elam, to the point where I bring this up all the time, speaking of Elam, that they had to threaten them with the death penalty because that's what they would do. If a woman's on a bus by herself, if a woman's anywhere, like, the guys don't even have to know each other. They're like, hey, you know what we do? You know what I mean? And that's just, it's rampant. It's not just one person. That is just what they do, okay? But let's bring that out. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 37.
This is the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 37. Everybody have it? Please say, Con, verse 37. For I will cause Elam to be dismayed before their enemies, and before them that seek their life, and I will bring evil upon them, even my fierce anger, saith the Lord. And I will send the sword after them till I have consumed them.
So Most High willing, this continues to happen. Hopefully every week I can bring another report about what happened to Elam, because these heathens really need to be humbled. Okay. Another Elamite would be M. Night Shyamalan, somebody who knows a lot about the scriptures, obviously just through his movies and watching it with the spiritual eye, but still will not openly come out and say that the Israelites are so-called Black Hispanics and Native Americans. He'll have a movie called Sixth Sense where the person in it, the little boy in his name is Cole, right? Black is Cole, but of course he's Esau. He will have the Airbender, the last Airbender, but of course, I don't know, I guess he's from Tibet or something like that, rather than who really have these type of spiritual powers. And you could say that, oh, he does that because it gives a more audience, a broader audience. I mean, Esau don't want to see anything about Jake being the one that has the power to set there, whatever. But it's stuff that he knows, which he's keeping to himself. So let him get judged, okay? And judged they were.
Around 100 people are dead and scores injured after a stampede at a Hindu religious gathering in India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh. Medical officials are saying more than 150 people were hospitalized after the crush in a village in the Hathras district. The stampede happened as worshippers rushed to leave the overcrowded event. Initial reports suggest that more than 15,000 people had gathered there. That's about 3 times the number officially allowed. The death toll is expected to rise. And we can get more now from DW's Adil Bhatt, who joins us from Delhi. Adil, many dead with the death toll rising. What's the latest?
Anya, right now we hear that 87 people are confirmed and hundreds injured in a stampede. The incident happened in the town of Hathras in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh, and local authorities say that number of casualties are likely to increase. And the locals also say that the event was overcrowded and there were narrow exits, which basically led to this tragedy. They say that the stampede happened as soon as the event ended and everyone was in a rush to leave. So there was no way out and people started to fall on each other. The authorities also say that the majority of the deaths were caused by suffocation, and most of the people who died are children and women. Now, this tragedy has raised questions on the management and also preparedness for such big events. Many also already call it's a man-made tragedy, and the event could have, and they say that the event could have better planned. And Chief Minister and Prime Minister and also the leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, all have expressed condolences to the families of the deceased. Ani, to give you some background about this incident, this particular religious gathering was done in the honor of a local self-styled godman. And he has been holding such events for 2 decades now. And also he has got a huge following in the part of the country. And reports tell us also that this godman is now absconding because he had taken permission for a small number only, but the crowd then finally turned up for the event was so big to be accommodated in this place.
So this is obviously a huge crush we're talking about here. How are authorities responding to the situation?
So the authorities have ordered now investigation into the incident, and they're also planning that they will be filing a case against organizers. And there have been instructions from the state government, and they've been telling to concerned officials to conduct relief and rescue operations and provide treatment to the injured. But the local administrations have also said that the medical college cannot accommodate this large number of patients. And that's why private hospitals have been asked to spare beds for the victims of this tragedy. And government has also announced compensation for the people who have been killed.
Stampedes are fairly common in India, aren't they, Adil?
Yes, I mean, such stampedes are common in India, especially, during religious gatherings. In the past, there have been multiple stampede happen in different states across the country. In November, I remember, like in 2013, around 115 people were killed and more than 100 were injured at a temple in central India. Same year, another stampede happened in Uttar Pradesh, same state, where 36 Hindu pilgrims were killed. So such deadly accidents occur during religious gatherings when large crowds gather in small areas with weak infrastructure and also few safety measures.
Adil, thank you so much for that update.
Okay, so they're relatively common. We got to keep in mind, right, that these people are probably high on pot, sipping their 40-ounce. Maybe instead of going to see the so-called God man, he should have filled out a job application, and sit in the unemployment line, So a lot of these people, they don't have jobs. Yeah. So we look at a stampede. It's not only that people die, it's the people that survived are the ones that killed the people that died. So, they got blood on their hands over there in India. So before they get over here and being all proud and, they should really check themselves, look in the mirror and figure out that they're the problem. Okay. There's no need to cross the street when you see me or clutch your purse, because you guys are the criminals, stepping on people, taking all types of narcotics to see the God person or whoever this guy is. Having to see a trash. Like, I've never seen a sea of trash before until I seen pictures in India. So there that is. All right, Elam. Anybody, and also if anybody ever sees anything related to Elam as far as judgment goes, please don't hesitate to send it to me. It could be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever. It's something that I always enjoy seeing. Okay. So let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 1. Let's continue on. Don't want to harp on the heathen too much. What's happening with our people? July 4th just happened. Everybody wants to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Well, are those firecrackers or gunshots? Who knows at this point? But a lot of gunshots went off during the 4th of July weekend, which is historically been one of the most violent weekends in the nation's history. It's supposed to be about independence, but if you're not independent from dying, or I don't know if that kind of correlates, but if you can't make it through the weekend of Independence week, then maybe you should be celebrating it. It's one of those things that I think maybe I'll learn from my mistakes. In Philadelphia, this is the 2nd mass shooting in a row. I mean, as far as July 4th goes. And in the same area of the city, probably like one was like 55th Street, the other one was 60th Street, 5 blocks away, roughly, in the same area. But Chicago shooting range, this was all over the country. All right, let's bring that out. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 1.
Khan, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 1. Everybody have it? Please say Khan.
Khan.
Khan. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be bare of faith.
So right now, people are being taken in great number. You see in Chicago, I don't think there's cities in Ukraine that didn't get hit this bad. You know, it was a bomb that went off. Allegedly, Russia sent a bomb to a children's hospital, and they said it was international news. 2 adults died. 2. Okay. In a weekend in Chicago, it's almost 20 people that got killed. Yeah, and I think this video that we're putting on came out on Sunday, so they didn't even tally up what happened on Sunday. Okay, so it's places that are literally in a war zone right now that the United Nations is talking about, the UN councils, NATO sitting down talking, what can we do in this war zone that aren't even touching one city in Chicago. I mean, sorry, one city in the United States, which is Chicago. All right. So it said these are the signs. You know what I mean? People be taken in great number, and the way of truth is hidden. What we doing celebrating 4th of July? Independence Day. 1776, we were still slaves. We weren't officially, you know, given our pass to work also in the fields, you know, sharecropping until about almost 100 years later. Okay. And then some places still didn't tell us we were free. You know what I'm saying? We still had to work. We're like, you know, there was no internet, wasn't, you know, breaking news notification. Guess what? Slavery's over. You know, we didn't have that. We have access to that. So what are we celebrating? All right. You know, the land is barren of faith. You know, people realize at this point, okay, I might not make it past this weekend. I go to that cookout, I might not go home. You know what I mean? But we got to have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai and not follow these heathen customs. All right, let's get Amos 5 and 21 on deck. And we're going to go through about 3 or 4 videos regarding what happened around the country.
We got to stop fight about it out. Emergency room.
A security alert was issued by the University of Chicago this morning after 3 men were shot on a sidewalk in front of the adult hospital's emergency room right after 5 a.m. According to UCPD, witnesses reported that the gunshots were fired from a dark-colored SUV that fled southbound on Cottage Grove away from the medical center. It is not clear whether any of the victims are affiliated with the university in any way. The shooting is one of several that happened overnight. In the South Loop, police are investigating the murder of a 26-year-old man who was shot and killed while walking down East 21st Street near Michigan Avenue just after 11 p.m. A 25-year-old woman was also injured but is expected to recover. Union officials confirmed the man was a CTA bus driver.
I was walking my dog at the dog park across from the Marriott by like 320 East 21st over there, and I heard like at least 15 clear gunshots.
Bullet casings were scattered up and down the street. The gunshots shattered the front door of a condo building, and it was a terrifyingly close call for 2 women who were sitting in this parked vehicle about to pull away when they saw 2 men running up from behind them.
One of them was wearing like a brown sweater and a ski mask. And when I seen them pull out the gun, I just put my window up and we ducked basically. And I just seen them shooting.
It has been an extremely violent holiday weekend with the number of people injured and or killed by gunfire already far exceeding last year's tally. Since Thursday, there have been 3 mass shootings in the city of Chicago, which on their own left 16 people injured and 4 dead. According to the mayor's office, all CPD officers had their days off canceled this weekend in order to help deal with the police response. They also said that on Tuesday, they will open the Emergency Assistance Center to help anyone who was impacted by this weekend's violence.
Watch breaking news.
You know, shout out to the brothers HOI Chicago, you know, holding it down. You heard the shooting outside the emergency room, you know, and they said College Grove. You know, the brothers teach up the street from that on College Grove. So shout out to them brothers and keep them brothers in your prayers. You know, they deal with a lot over there in Chicago, you know, but, you know, may the Most High continue to protect them in these obvious last days. All right, so let's go with the next mass shooting, Philadelphia.
Top story this morning. We have had a deadly shooting. 8 people were shot, and we know that one of them has died. Many of these were young people.
Now, this comes exactly a year after another mass shooting happening in Kingsessing, killing 5 people. Now, Hank is live at the scene in Southwest Philly, where, Hank, you're seeing quite a bit of damage that remains from that shooting.
Yes, I mean, there was apparently a ton of lead flying through the air down here last night at Kingsessing and 60th. I'm just trying to figure out, maybe doing my own bit of police work. There seem to be 2 bullet holes in this particular Mazda right here. It could be 2 hits. It could be one going in one window, going out the other. Police are still trying to match it together, guys. But listen, 8 people are hit. One of them killed. 3 of them are juveniles down here, transported to several different area hospitals. It happened about 11:30 last night. Police say, again, here near the intersection of 60th and Kingsessing as it goes down towards Salford Street. And Philly Police Inspector Kapana Masakoy says that officers realized it was happening when one patrol officer found a person shot in the middle of Kingsessing.
Officer was on patrol in this area and saw a shooting victim lying on the highway. The officer immediately came over police radio and stated that she had seen shooting, and other officers responded and found other victims on the highway and transported them to the hospital. A total of victims that arrived at the hospital were counted at 8 at this point. 5 adults and 3 juveniles, and the juveniles age ranges are between 16 to 17. It is very alarming, and especially when we had officers in the area to try to prevent anything like this from happening. It's still happening. So we take it very seriously and find it very, very alarming.
Sure, and again, it's 1 person dead from 8 shot, 5 adults, 3 juveniles. Police have not released any identities. Police say there is no known motive. There haven't been any arrests and no weapons recovered. Take a quick look at this live shot that we have from CHOP. All the victims were transported, not just to CHOP, but the 3 other area hospitals, Hub Cedar and Presbyterian were the other 2. But they went to CHOP and these other hospitals via emergency vehicle, privately owned vehicle. Steve Keeley reports even one went by ride share, if you can buy that. But there's several crowds that gathered out here at the corner. Police say that when they got here, they had to be broken up at a certain point. I did speak with one woman who you'll hear from in about a half hour. I just now spoke with her, who said she just didn't understand how firecrackers, fireworks could explode into gunfire. Maybe that's some clue as to how it all got started. Police did tell us that there were cookouts happening out here, as there were everywhere else in the city on the 4th of July. They said they didn't distinctly know of any parties going on. So a lot of police work to be done here, guys, and police will be out here gathering video throughout the day. Count on that, guys.
Okay, so 6 degrees of separation. They interviewed the mentor of the victim, the one that died, and he's the one that had a pop-up party, pretty much instructed everybody to come out there, and he's one that got shot in the face. But the mentor I knew when he was young, try to give him some information, you know what I'm saying, growing up about, doing the right thing. And now he's a mentor. But 6 degrees separation, a lot of these shootings, oh, that's such and such cousin, that's on my aunt's block, you know what I mean? So he was 19. He was about to graduate, I believe, in 2 weeks from Bartram High Schools in Philadelphia. And he did not. Okay, so these are the signs. All right, let's continue. This is in Florence. I believe Florence, Ohio. Let's continue.
This is WLWT News 5, leading the way with breaking news.
A birthday party turns into a horrific crime scene. 4 people killed and 3 others injured after a cold-blooded shooting in Boone County. We also now know the shooter is dead after turning the gun on himself. Tonight, a community is numb as police work to make some sense out of the senseless. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm Curtis Fuller. my co-anchor, Lindsay Stone, live where this tragedy took place. It all happened at a home on Ridgecrest Drive, and News 5's Daisy Kershaw also live from the scene. She's been talking to neighbors, but first, let's go to Lindsay Stone. Lindsay, we're learning more disturbing details from police as this investigation into this tragedy unfolds. What do we know tonight?
Well, Curtis, we know that Florence police officers began receiving 911 calls of an active shooter inside this residence here behind me. Those calls coming in just before 3 a.m. Police said that a birthday party was going on at the time. As we zoom in here, you can see there's been some 4th of July decorations. Earlier, we saw some balloons for a birthday party. And now this entire home is just covered with crime tape. As we zoom in and take a close look at that front door, you can see that glass door is completely off the hinges. This home now a crime scene. Now, officers found 7 people with gunshot wounds, including 2 people outside the home. 4 were found dead at the scene, including 20-year-old Shane Miller, 20-year-old Hayden Ribicki, 19-year-old Delaney Erie, and 44-year-old Melissa Parrott. And we're told Parrott lived in this home. She's the mother of the 21-year-old whose birthday was being celebrated. The 3 others shot remain hospitalized tonight.
Officers rendered first aid to several victims, and right now we have 3 victims at UC Medical in Cincinnati that are all stable and will make a full recovery.
Now, police say when they arrived here on the scene, that suspect was still firing shots, and then they actually watched him take off, and we now know a chase ensued. Tonight, we're learning new details about who that suspect is and the dramatic moments after police arrived here on the scene. I'll bring in WLWT News 5's Daisy Kershaw. She's continuing our team coverage tonight. Daisy, what do we know about this suspect?
Lindsay, he's identified as 21-year-old Chase Garvey. Police say after killing 4 people and injuring 3 others, Garvey took off, leading them on a chase before ultimately turning the gun on himself. Police saying that Garvey died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now take a look at this video here shared with us by a neighbor. You can see Garvey looking around people's yards just minutes before the shooting happens. Neighbors tell me this is a quiet, tight-knit neighborhood. This tragedy coming as a shock. Lots of heartbreak here tonight. I'm told so many in the area were close with one of the victims, Melissa Parrott, who was hosting the party. A father and daughter who live next door tell me they'd been at that party earlier in the night before this all unfolded.
We're just lucky we were safe in a sense, but it doesn't make it any better. This is affecting the whole neighborhood, losing our great neighbor, you know.
I mean, she was just a beautiful woman, beautiful heart. And I mean that in the most sincere way. I mean, it's not just a cliche thing to say. I mean, she was a beautiful person in and out.
Neighbors tell me that this has been just incredibly shocking and heartbreaking, saying that Melissa Parrott was like the heart of this neighborhood. So many have fond memories of times spent at her home, and her loss, as well as the 3 other victims, is just unimaginable for folks here. Reporting live in Florence, Daisy Kershaw, WLWT News 5.
Daisy, thank you.
Okay, so that's Ohio. Let's keep going.
A block party on Detroit's east side turns deadly, leaving 2 people dead and 19 others injured. Police are now looking for answers as no arrests have been made. The victims range in age from 17 to 28 years old. The 2 people killed were in their early 20s.
It happened here shortly before 2:30 this morning in the area of Reno Street and Rossini Drive. That's not too far south of 8 Mile and Gratiot. Victor Williams is live near the scene for us today. Victor, what do we know?
Yeah, Pam and Will, well, a lot of people are asking the question, how could something that was supposed to be so fun turn so deadly, just unfortunately? But that is the sad reality right here on this block of Rossini. We're told, just like you guys said, that these were mainly teens, a lot of them between the ages of 17 and 28. Now, for a brief moment right here around 2:25 a.m., ringing out. We do know, unfortunately, that a 20-year-old woman was shot in the head and passed away, along with a 21-year-old man who was also shot in the back and passed away as well. We did get the chance to speak to a neighbor who heard everything and immediately decided to take cover.
We was on the porch
listening to music and heard all the noise and screaming and shooting. So me and the wife, we just went up in the crib and went to bed. Woke up this morning, they were still down there. At the end of the day, it's kids. It's kids. Ain't even lived a life yet. And injured and dying. Right up the street. Right up the street. And the bullets could have came this way. Me and my wife was having a good time. We could have been victims.
And right now, there are still so many unknowns, but we do know that DPD, they're supposed to be giving us some type of update first thing tomorrow. They wanted to hold off right now as this investigation continues, but once again, a horrible situation where 19 people have been shot and 2 others dead. Right here on the east side, Victor Williams, Local 4.
A lot of questions right now. All right. Thank you, Victor.
This mass shooting has the East Side community coming together to demand change. A peace walk was held just hours after the shooting. It was organized by the Mohican Regent Residents Association, which covers the neighborhood where that shooting occurred. Leaders say the purpose of the walk was to show neighbors they have the power to keep their communities safe.
The whole idea is to get them involved so that they can take control of their own community. And we have the numbers. If there's 30 homes in a block and there are 2 people that are a problem, now if we isolate ourselves, those 2 are in control. But if those 30 people are working together, then the block club is in control. So again, this is what we want to create, an atmosphere where we as a community are in control of our neighborhood.
Mayor Duggan commented on the violence on the east side as well. He said in part, quote, the violence at several block parties over the last 3 days has been heartbreaking for this city. Young people and innocent neighbors are being put at risk every weekend. We will, of course, keep you updated on any new information on.
Okay, and Salakia, that's Florence, Kentucky, not Florence, Ohio. Florence, Kentucky was the last video. And this is obviously Detroit. Let's continue.
A bystander's intervention might have put an end to a deadly shooting July 4th at a Fort Worth car wash before it could get even worse. Court documents for the arrest of 27-year-old Kennard Murphy outline how the shooting started and how it came to an end. 3 people were killed, 2 young girls, as well as 42-year-old Terrell Wynn. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with Wynn's family, joins us with new details on the investigation. Amelia.
Blake, those 3 victims were not involved in the initial fight. As you mentioned, those victims include 2 young girls and 42-year-old Terrell Wynn. I spoke to his sister today, who told me that the family is still in shock about what happened. Fort Worth police say this car wash off West Cleburne Road in Fort Worth is where a large 4th of July gathering ended in gunfire. According to court documents, 27-year-old Kennard Murphy went to this gathering to see his 11-month-old daughter. Witnesses told police due to prior domestic violence issues between Murphy and the baby's mother, there are relatives in her family who don't like him. Just before midnight, one of those relatives got in a fight with Murphy. At first, it appeared the 2 men were going to get in a fist fight. Then Murphy pulled out a rifle and started shooting at the other man, who was unarmed. 3 people not involved in the fight were hit by gunfire.
Like, life is so unfair. It's so unfair. And it be the innocent people that get hurt.
Twyla Wynn's brother, 42-year-old Terrell Wynn, was one of the 3 people shot. He was hit in the leg and died from his injuries. Bullets also struck the back of a vehicle and hit 2 sisters in the back seat, 1-year-old Winter Thuston and 4-year-old Ivy Pierce. The children were taken to the hospital and later died.
And them babies didn't deserve it. My brother didn't deserve it.
The documents go on to say an unknown person shot Murphy in the back, forcing him to drop the rifle. Then another person rushed over to grab it before Murphy could get to it and continue shooting.
I just hate he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wynn couldn't confirm if her brother knew anyone at the large gathering. She believes he was there to use the car wash. Wynn says her brother moved to Texas from Louisiana about 5 years ago for a better life. He was going to celebrate his 43rd birthday in 2 weeks. His sister says that he also leaves behind a 21-year-old son.
He's going to always hold a special place in my heart.
When police spoke to Murphy, they said that he admitted to pointing the rifle at the relative of his baby's mother who he was fighting with, and he admitted to police, they say, that he tried to shoot him.
All right, so let's get Amos chapter 5 and verse 21.
Con, this is the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 21. When everybody have it, please say Con.
God.
Con, verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assembly.
So the Most High ain't with these July 4th gatherings, so-called Independence Day, Memorial Day, Easter, Christmas, weekend, all that stuff. You know, I mean, Most High's not with it. So when you see bad things happen, because he said bad things will happen, and you know, people say, "Oh, well, this person was innocent. This person didn't do anything." You know, you read Job chapter 4, verse 7. It says, "I remember, I pray thee, who ever perish, being innocent, or were the righteous cut off?" You know, we don't want to be places where we shouldn't be. Okay, it's dangerous. Okay, as you can see, obviously, you know, it was a shooting range in America that nobody has any answer for. You know, it's not on the ballot. You know, the Democrats, Republicans aren't talking about how can we, you know, make the world safer, make this country safer. They understand that this is judgment and it's going to continue to happen. Okay, let's go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 14. And when you got it, you can bring it out.
Con, this is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 14. When everybody have it, please say Con.
Con.
Con, verse 10. Salaki, verse 14, going into the red letter. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust off your feet.
Con. All right. So prophesying in a city, the house, and they don't want to listen to you, shake off the dust. Okay, go ahead.
Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city.
So I was joking with Aria, you know, what was it, July 4th morning, you know, it was you know, breaking news, Citizens app, 4 people killed in Chicago, and you know what I mean? Which we see that when we leave out of our collective cities and come together, those cities get judged, you know, and it makes, you know, not local news. These are national news stories and even international news stories. You know what I mean? You can't have somebody get shot, you know, with a rifle, and children get killed without it, you know, spreading around. In Detroit, 19 people, you know what I'm saying? So these stories get picked up by like Russia Today, you know? So I was joking with him saying that, you know, soon, you know, he's going to go to a July 4th, you know, gathering, rebuke, and the mayor's going to stop him at the door like, yo, we'll cash app you $10 million. Just stay here. You know, don't leave. When you leave, bad things happen. And that happens a lot with him. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know that the Most High is with him. You know, there was a forest fire in New Jersey caused by July 4th fireworks. In New York, 3 people got ran over by a truck, you know what I mean, and killed. So in these collective cities, these are things that pop up on notifications, you know what I mean? And it's facts. Now let's talk about Texas. Okay, let's talk about Texas. Let's get Sirach chapter 39 and verse 30. Texas, something happened that hasn't happened in 5 years. And it was intense. 4 people bit by sharks at like separate times. You know what I mean? You're gonna see the video of the woman and her husband talking about it. You know, but after they got bit, people are like, oh, okay, I think we're good. We can go in. Or before or after, I'm not sure which one came first. But, you know, people went back in, got bit again, went in, got bit again, you know. So one day in Texas. Okay, let's bring that out. Sirach chapter 39 and verse 30.
Con, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 30. Everybody have it, please say con.
Con.
Con, verse 30. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction.
Con. Teeth of wild beasts. Now look at this story. Amazing.
A North Texas couple were among the 4 people injured after encountering a shark on South Padre Island yesterday. Tabitha and Carrie Sullivan from Salina both injured. Carrie suffering minor injuries. Tabitha, though, had her left calf taken out by the shark. She underwent surgery, and she has a very long recovery ahead of her. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke with the couple and joins us now with the story. Peyton. Heather, and this woman tells me the shark attacked her when she and her 15-year-old daughter were out past the sandbar. Tabitha went on to tell me the shark then followed her into shallow water, and that's when her husband fought it off. We want to warn our viewers that some of the images are graphic.
But I turned around and saw something dark in the water, and I just thought it was a big fish, so I was going to kick it away, and that's when I think it grabbed me. I think it let go of me, and then I was able to start swimming to the beach with one leg in my arms, and it didn't grab me again there. And then once I got closer to the beach, people came out and started pulling me in. I think my husband had me first, but he had to drop me in the water because the shark was still in pursuit.
From her McAllen Hospital, Tabitha Sullivan of Salina.
How do you say your husband's a coward without actually saying your husband's a coward as he sits right next to you? So the sharks come after him, he drops her and tries to get out of Dodge, you know? You saw Land of the Brave? Not likely. Let's continue.
Salina recalls her terrifying escape from a shark attack on the 4th of July in the waters of South Padre Island. The shark bit off her left calf.
Yeah, my leg's pretty much gone. They flushed it out today. It's all the way to the bone. It did not go through the bone.
Tabitha's husband, Carrie, came over to her rescue as the shark followed her into shallow water.
This is his foot.
Carrie is now by his wife's bedside, recovering from bites down his leg from fighting the shark off.
If my husband didn't jump into action and everybody else on the beach, if I didn't have that crew pulling me out and not just being there to pull me out, but jump between the shark and me, I don't think it would have stopped.
While they were treating her, they were trying to get a tourniquet down there to her. While they were treating her, the shark was right there in the first gut, like, you know, we're in probably knee-deep water.
Kyle Judd of Oak Point witnessed the Sullivan's shark attack from the beach. Judd then took this video and followed the shark down the beach along with DPS on a boat and a helicopter. According to the city of South Padre Island, 4 people were injured. The city called the situation unprecedented and says the last shark bite there happened 5 years ago.
See South Padre with that many people and nobody in the water, it was very surreal. It was like nothing I'd seen before. It was like a movie or something. So wild.
As for Tabitha, she tells me she can wiggle her toes a bit, but the level of mobility for the future is still up in the air. She tells me her next surgery is set for Tuesday, and that's when doctors will know more.
Okay. So, Tabitha. That was her name, Tabitha? Interesting, right? But
we love this person, man.
she doesn't have a calf anymore. And if you've seen the picture, it is very graphic. It's literally a person's leg without a calf. All right. Slocky, I'm looking for a video. I don't see it, so I'm just gonna keep going. But Paul Mooney no, I can't find it. Paul Mooney talked about Jaws and Esau and how they're actually afraid of sharks. So he bought sharks. And if they're afraid of sharks, he bought them. Let's get Psalm chapter 4 and verse 3. So he's carrying his wife to safety, sees a shark, drops her in the water, and then the shark tears him up. You know what I mean? And it's judgment. You know, what does it feel like to have your calf removed by a shark? I don't know. I banged my knee on the coffee table and I'm on the ground, you know what I mean? Squirming like, oh man, I got to get my feeling back, right? But when I look down, I still have my calf, not Esau. That calf is gone. It was shark food. All right. And while all this is going on, right, we're rebuking the United States, the president, you know what I mean, everything that America's standing for, Babylon, Mount Seir. And something happened, you know, for everybody who was there. It was a very hot day, very humid. A brother started bringing it out and, you know, it started to rain. But when he said something, a gust of wind blew. Everybody felt it. You know what I mean? If you look at the video I'm about to put on, you can see the flag, moving in the background. It was it felt good too, because it was, like I said, it was a very humid day. And after that, of course, you know, it still remained humid, you know, it rained, but it still remained humid. Temperature was still high. But it was something I remembered to the point where I even put in my notes because this was serious, you know what I mean? And what he was reading was, be still. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to put that on now. So hold that. We'll go to Psalms chapter 4 and verse 3. Hold that and put on the video first. All right, and then we'll bring that out. Slocky, let me line it up. It's a brother from Sons of Yahweh. All right, here we go.
Hey, man, what? Even or not, man, our people are dead today, man. And our people are those dry bones today, man. And we used to be those dry bones. That's right. But you know what? Prophecy had to happen, brother. Stand up. God! I prophesy. And he commanded me. And the power had to take them. And they live. And they what? And they live. And they what? And they live. And stood upon their feet. And a city, right army. You see right here? A city, right army. You see with the so-called black and Hispanic coming back together again? A city, right army. What you see right now is the army that the Lord set up, man. Right? And we come into the White House and we announcing this, right? Because now it's a whole bunch of Moseses right now. Right? And we gotta lead rebellious people, man. Give me Exodus 8:1 real quick, King. Right? So what you're seeing right now is an army being formed, man. Right? And we're gonna do this in the rain, man. And we're gonna bring this thing out in the rain, man. Right? And because we love the Most High, man. We commanded to do this, man. We commanded to set this kingdom down, brother. Because the Most High God is going to put this kingdom on fire. You enjoying your kingdom? Huh? You enjoying your kingdom? Right? They walking around like this is theirs, man. Like this belongs to them. And then they want us to love them. We tried to love y'all before. It don't work. You know, every time we love you, we got stabbed in the back by these demons, man. And we know who you are now. We understand who we dealing with, huh? This book of Exodus, chapter 8 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, go to Pharaoh and say to him, thus saith the Lord, let my people go. And he's like, let my people go.
So now look at the rain and look at the wind. The wind's picking up.
The Most High said, let my people go. That they may serve me. We may what? That they may serve me. All right, brother. And we telling them to let them people go, man. Right? Go to give me Exodus 14. Right? Give me 14 and 20. Right? It's the book of Exodus, chapter 14, and verse number 12. It's not this word that we did tell you in Egypt. Man, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians. That we may what? That we may serve the Egyptians. It's our people, man. They want to serve the Egyptians. Right. So they don't want to serve the Most High God, man. Get up. But it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. Why our people love Christian insanity. But they want to serve Egypt, man. Right? The gods of Egypt. Because the gods of Egypt say, do what thou wilt, man. Hey, the Most High say, thus it shall not, thou shalt not. Right. God and Moses said unto the people, fear you not. Say what? Fear ye not. Say what? Fear ye not. Stand still. What? Stand still. And see the salvation of Yahweh.
So as soon as he said that, a strong gust of wind, cold wind came through that was very noticeable. You know what I mean? And I was talking to brothers sitting on the line. I'm like, yo, you feel that? They're like, yeah. So we all felt it.
You gotta stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh. One more, Luke 1:68. Somebody real quick. Right? Luke 1:68. Because we got a redeemer coming, man. Right. And the Lord is the redeemer of his people, man. Stand up. This is the Luke, chapter 1, and verse 68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel. Well, you have visited and redeemed his people. I need that hands to come out. The hands of people, right? And have raised up an horn of salvation for us, in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which has been since the world began, that we shall be saved. Shall be what? That we shall be saved. That being saved, salvation. Right. Right there, huh? From our enemies. From our friends. Only ones that take you and rob you and murder you and put you in captivity, they're not your friends, man.
All right. Khan, let's bring that out. Psalm chapter 4, verse 3.
Khan, this is the book of Psalm, chapter 4 and verse 3. When everybody have it, please say Khan.
Khan.
Khan. But know that the Lord hath set apart him that is godly for himself. The Lord will hear when I call unto you. So like unto him.
Khan. All right. So set apart. All right. Holy. And the Lord will hear when we call unto him. Okay. Go ahead.
Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Salah.
So allow the Most High to work. Okay. Stand in awe, sin not, and be in your thoughts, be in your mind. Okay. Upon your bed, be still, let the Most High work. Go ahead.
Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord.
So we got to put our trust in the Lord. Okay. So that was an amazing time. The brother was speaking, and you can't forget that. You know what I mean? The strong gust of wind came out. It's just like answering his question, like, yeah, be still, relax. I got this. I'm taking care of it. Another spiritual thing that happened during that time, when we moved up past the White House, past the park, it was Jake that was selling waters and Gatorade. It was just being a demon, you know what I mean? Just talking crazy, about, oh, y'all hate, y'all the black KKK, and you know what I mean? Just loving Esau pretty much, because Esau is buying his drinks, and here we are, condemning the heathen. So he didn't like that. And he's, I was in the federal penitentiary, level 7, what I'm saying? Walk by myself, I ain't scared of nothing. You know how Jake is, right? He got to tell you his accolades of being in prison. The highlight of his life, right? So, brothers, he was vexing brothers. What the Most High do? He's loving Esau. Esau came over there, the Capitol Police, and removed him. You have to go, sir. He's smiling. I didn't hear what was going on, but I could see him. He's smiling, showing teeth. Okay, sir. Yes, a master. Yes, a master. But guess what? The Most High got him out of there. You know what I mean? We didn't have to put hands on him. You know what I mean? Didn't have to ruin the rebuke and all this other stuff. The Most High got rid of him. So be still, relax, let things play out. Okay, trust in the Most High. He got you. Think about something like the Essence Festival. Essence Festival had 13 people at the festival. It looked dead in there. You know what I'm saying? But you remember last Essence Festival, we had Megan Thee Stallion up there twerking and bringing, everybody's just having like a twerk fest on the stage. And one of the other sisters lifted up her shirt in one of the other performances. So Essence Festival became like a harlot show. Well, nobody was there to watch it this time. See, the Most High got us. Okay, just gotta keep on being diligent. 6.9 magnitude earthquake in Sangay, Philippines. Might cause a tsunami. We'll see. All right. Let's go to a couple more, y'all. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. In this video that I'm about to play, I know this young man. And he was rough around the edges when I knew him, so to speak. But I liked him. You know what I mean? He was cool. And he was at Esau's school, of course, and I had to deal with him a lot there. But unfortunately, how we're in the time where things escalate. You don't want to argue with people. Arguing with people is very dangerous, and it can cause death or great harm, right? And so this young man, he died. Let's bring that out. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1.
Khan, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 1. Will everybody have it? Please say Khan. Khan.
Khan.
Khan. A soft answer turned away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger.
Khan. So, you know what? You got it. You right. I mean, I don't know the argument he had with this person that shot him, but somebody, I was in line. Go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? You got it. Like, you gonna fight over a spot in line? Oh, that's the last bag of chips, man. That's mine. Go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? Or you could argue over a bag of chips and bad things can happen. Who the hell needs a bag of chips? You know what I mean? I'm not saying be a pushover. Like you grab the bag of chips, you sitting there in line, and somebody comes up to you like, yo, those are my bag of chips. All right, well, now you might have to react. You know what I'm saying? But if you happen to grab them at the same time or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself, what's worth it in these last days? Because one thing for sure, we like to do things ourselves. We see the video before, it says, look, be still. I got you. Somebody's giving you a hard time, grab a bag of chips, and he starts cussing you out, and this, that, and the third. Most High got him. He might not make it home. Okay? Whether it be a car accident or whether a car can accelerate like it did in Seoul, South Korea. The Most High has ways to get people back. All right, you gotta trust in the Most High. He'll take care of things. Okay, but when we try to do everything ourselves, that's when we fail. All right, let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 9. All right, we got to keep in mind we're in the last days. Let's see this thing through. Let's see what the Most High has in store. Why die before your time? Okay, let's bring that out though. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 9.
Khan, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 9. Will everybody have it? Please say Khan.
Khan.
think you're on mute, Art.
Salakia. Verse 9. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools.
Anger rests in the bosom of fools. Okay. Let's watch this video now.
Not into those streets. He's not into that.
Sitting inside her Chester home, the mother of Dante Dickerson remained numb. It's been nearly a week since a gunman shot the 27-year-old inside a corner store on Morton Avenue in Chester.
I cry, I scream, I get my moments, but I don't get a chance to actually sit down in the morning. I got to keep moving. I'm at funeral homes.
Mike Hatzifis tells NBC 10 Dickerson made a routine trip to the store for food around 9:30 in the morning on July 2nd. He would never return. Investigators say the father of a 7-year-old girl had been shot to death inside the store.
Just merely in the store early in the morning with flip-flops on and shorts, getting something, and you took my son's life. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel.
His family says Dickerson had no enemies and wasn't living a life in the streets. They don't know why anyone would take his life. Now they're left only with memories and trying to figure out a way to say a proper goodbye.
I have to raise money to bury my son. What's the worst fella? Is living without him.
They're demanding the gunman turn himself in so they can start to mourn the loss of a father known for being a jokester and dancer. Aaron Baskerville, NBC 10 News.
Oh, we'll get to this. Okay. And almost done, y'all. Almost done. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Now I'm just thinking about what they just said about the brother. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you know for, just being a jokester and a dancer.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he was a jokester when he was in high school too. You know what I'm saying? And he's Muslim, you know what I mean? So that level of protection is just not there. You know what I'm saying? But he was very charismatic, you know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate he didn't get it. I remember talking to him afterwards. I believe I talked to him about the truth once I became, aware. But Islam has a hold on our people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it seems like these homicides, like I said, 6 degrees of separation and everything like that, they're getting closer and closer in our circle. You know what I mean? So you got to keep that in mind, that our family and friends and people we knew or know, that haven't grasped the idea that they're God's chosen people and that they need to follow these laws, statutes, commandments, are open to judgment. So having I want to say a stoic mentality of, you can't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be a surprise that, these things are going to happen in the future. A lot of people are not going to make it. And that encapsulates also people that we know, All right. So look at this next video and we'll be complete. Straightway is I guess you call them Israelites, you know what I mean? He watched this next video. He's very he pretty much comes at Israelites, but I guess he says he's an Israelite. They allow heathens in their congregation, it started off, I believe, really with this guy's named Pastor Dow. Started off with adultery, doing counsels for men and their wives, and then taking their wives. To my understanding, I'm not part of Straightway, but this is what the testimonies against them. and now it kind of escalated to now they're getting raided by the SWAT teams. Okay, but let's look at a video originally about how he feels about these Hebrew Israelites, the Power Rangers that yelling on corners. Okay, and Esau is not the so-called white man. All right, here we go.
One reason why I make, these teachings and these videos, especially concerning Esau, is because there are a lot of people, unsuspecting people, that are being misled by false doctrine. I'm not concerned about these so-called Hebrew Israelite leaders, because they're not leaders at all. These people are no different than the Ku Klux Klan. They're no different than any other racist organization on the earth. It's just that they're black and they're using the Bible as a tool in order to promote hatred and in order to promote dissension and in order to promote, look at this, and I said it once, I'm going to say it again, I'm going to say it again over and over again. Listen very closely. In order to promote some type of racial discrimination based on pains of the past, the way that they repackage and rehash.
So he's talking about the past, and he's in Tennessee. And if you've seen a couple of days ago, the Patriot Front marching, which is a racist organization of Edomites that wear khakis and mask, like walking around, marching through Tennessee. So he's very naive or blind or something to that effect. But I guess there's no racism in Tennessee, but let's continue.
History to you. We all know that the history books are skewed and they're lied. They're full of lies. We all know that, right? But we use the Bible, or many of us do. And, the Bible teaches us there is a certain way that if you believe yourself to be an Israelite, you believe yourself to be a Hebrew, the Bible teaches there's a certain way that we ought to treat the stranger that wants to come and join themselves to us. But these racist pigs out here, they don't want nobody joining to them. And their doctrine is so flawed and so screwed up that the only thing they can resort to is name calling, using disparaging comments, because they're too inept. They don't have the vocabulary. They do not know science, geography, and they just simply have a speech impediment when it comes to truth. And, it's easy to debunk all these lies. Just because somebody puts mental assent with something, or they make some type of mental association and they choose to agree and they say, this is the doctrine, this is the truth. And they usually do it on unsuspecting minds and stuff, because as soon as somebody comes along telling the truth, what's the first thing they start doing? Showing you how unintelligent they are by calling people names and everything else. Listen.
Keep in mind, he's saying that Israelites call people names, but watch the rest of this video. I mean, this is the signs of Masons do this. I had very much, I had conversations with Masons, you know what I mean? And they'll say you do something and then immediately they'll do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, people, you don't know anything, you call people names. And then like 5 minutes later, he's calling Israelites names. But let's continue.
If these doctrines were true, such as that false 12 tribe chart, such as who they believe to be who the Israelites are, which is a lie, such as Esau's the white man, and that's got to be you have got to be the most stupidest person that ever walked the face of planet Earth to believe some stupid crap like that. I mean, really. But I know what it's all motivated by: hate and racism. They're no different anyway, you get what I'm saying. You get exactly what I'm saying. But they have no scholarship. And now you got all these camps out here that want you to deny the Messiah. That's pretty much what people are going. They attack the New Testament, and they only been on this earth 20 and 30 years, 40 years. That's it. They attack the Bible. They take it, this ain't right, this ain't right. So I'm not concerned about the leaders. I'm not even talking to the leaders when I make these videos. I'm talking to the people who have some intelligence about them. And all you have to do is look at the fruit of their ministry, look at the fruit of mine, and you'll see who's following the Most High and who's the Most High with, because he confirms his words with signs following.
Keep that in mind. Matter of fact, I'm going to rewind that a little bit. It's very important what you just said.
right? So I'm not concerned about the leaders. I'm not even talking to the leaders when I make these videos. I'm talking to the people who have some intelligence about them. And all you have to do is look at the fruit of their ministry, look at the fruit of mine, and you'll see who's following the Most High and who's the Most High with, because he confirms his words with signs following. You know, standing on the street corner, cussing people out, cussing other nations out and stuff, and then putting an offering plate or a hat down or something like that, expecting somebody to throw some money in there because you're too damn lazy to work and you're on welfare and you're on EBT and every damn thing else and stuff. It's just nonsensical. How can these people be your leaders? The Bible said if a man don't work, he shouldn't eat. How can he be your leaders? You know, it's just sad. It really is. But again, only a few people are going to get this. Only a few people are going to wake up to this. That's all there's to it. Are there few to be saved? That's it. It's just going to be few. But if you choose to believe these racist, illogical doctrines, then go ahead and have fun. Have fun. But I tell you what, look at your life and look at the attitude and look at the anger, the hatred, the bitterness that it fuels in you. You become worse than the very people you hate. You become worse than your enemy by believing these false doctrines. Is that not a sad thing? Is it not bad? I think it's just off of the proverbial chain. I really, truly do. It's so sad how many of you are being used and abused. Many of you are going out here, giving your livelihood and your whole entire lives to these people, and all they do is sit on a fat ass and so-called search scriptures and teach you how to hate, teach you how to do the very opposite of what the Torah actually teaches us to be. They point to you and they tell you that's the enemy, and many of you don't even know. You're so unsuspect, you don't even know that the enemy is the devil that is in them that's sitting right in front of you. Come out of her, my people, and come out from among them. Be ye separate, saith the Most High Yahweh. He will receive you. But hey, you want to believe all this crap and garbage? Go ahead. Because all they got is division and racism, bitterness, hatred. That's their fruit. That's their spirit. Why even entertain them? Why even listen to them? So I'm going to continue to keep making videos, because every time I turn around, I get new calls almost daily about how that somebody had came over to listen to Pastor Down and they came out of the lies and they're free. And I got many of them coming down here from GOTS. They come from camps. Utterly, utterly amazing. Remarkable and amazing. Don't let everybody think that your skin color is so divine that you can't be, you can't go to hell. What they do is they help you to perpetuate the curses, and you would never come out from under them. So they come up with these crazy sayings and stuff. And, you know, hey, all I know is I'm obeying the Bible, and everyone that is following me as I follow Christ, we're coming out from under those curses simply because of obedience. That's how you reverse the curse, is by being obedient to Yah. Y'all have a wonderful day. Ain't coming.
All right, let's go to Psalm chapter 35 and verse, let's see. Let's start with 13. Psalm 35, verse 13. And we got it. You can bring it out.
Khan, this is the book of Psalm, chapter 35 and verse 13. Everybody have it, please say Khan.
Matter of fact, start with 11, Salakia.
Khan, verse 11. False witness did rise up. They laid to my charge things that I knew not.
Khan, so I don't even know this guy, right? But people will say, you know, just being in the Israelite community, you know what I'm saying? You know, heard his name and looked at, you know, checked him out and realized he just ripping and making fun of Israelites that read the Bible in the corner, you know, and that give the judgment to the heathens, which is prophetic. But you know, and you look at the comments, I was like, let me look at these comments, like, yeah, it's true, the camps are terrible and everything like that. I'm like, man, this is a lot of people that, you know, of course we understand that, you know, America and, you know, other countries and, you know, the kings and everything, dislike us. The heathens don't like us, but 2/3 don't like us. But when you see other Israelites that purposely aim to bring down brothers that are reading the Bible and just saying to follow the law, statutes, commandments, it's kind of perplexing. He talks about, but people leaving his organization, right, Straightway, that people work and give him their paycheck, and he gives them like $50. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it seems, real Christianized, the way that they're going about things, and God loves everybody, I guess, because he doesn't really explain who's an Israelite and who's not, and who's a heathen, who's a Gentile. Just kind of, at least I haven't seen it. Anyway, let's go verse 12.
Verse 12. They rewarded me evil for good, to the spoiling of my soul.
Go ahead.
But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into my own bosom.
Because we love our people, all our people. We want the 2/3 to, who right now might be the 2/3 to repent, and the angels will rejoice. Okay, so we don't go around hating our people. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like I'm gonna throw jabs at this group of people, so it makes me look better, and that's actually sad. You know what I mean? That's a sign of a weak mentality and a low self-esteem, that you have to try to body somebody else just so people look at you and say, "Oh, he's obviously better than them, so let me listen to this guy." Go ahead, read verse 14.
Verse 14. I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily as one that mourneth for his mother.
Go ahead.
But in my adversary, Salakia, but in my adversity, they rejoice and gather themselves together. Yea, the abjects gathered themselves together against me, and I knew it not, that they did tear me and seize not.
So the abjects, you look up that word, is a smiter, right? Go ahead. You go down to verse 23. Matter of fact, 22, Slakia.
With hypocritical mockers and feasts, that gashing upon me with their teeth.
Oh no, you could skip down to verse 22, Slakia.
Oh, okay, Verse 22. This thou hast seen, O Lord, keep not silent, O Lord, be not far from me.
Because the verse before, it talks about, open up their mouth wide against me. So aha, I've seen it. I know those guys, those camps. This is how they are. Aha, right? Go ahead. Verse 23.
Verse 23. Stir up thyself and awake to my judgment, even unto my cause, my God and my Lord.
Go ahead.
Judge me, Yahweh, thy power, according to thy righteousness, and let them not rejoice over me.
Let the Most High be the judge. What'd he say? Most High is going to be the judge, and you'll know them by their fruits and everything like that, right? As you're going to see in the next clip, we're not making the news. We're not getting our doors kicked down by the SWAT team. What are we doing? We following the law, statutes, commandments. We having a class right now. You know what I'm saying? We're looking for the next feast day. We're not bringing in Edomites and having internal strife because somebody took somebody else's Edomite wife. You know what I mean? That's just totally off. All right. Not saying nobody's perfect here, but we're aiming for perfection. Okay, let's go to verse 25.
Verse 25. Let them not say in their hearts, so would we have it. Let them not say, we have swallowed him up.
Because you know something happens where we're national news and we did something that we're dead wrong. It's not, Esau just trying to get at us, but we're wrong and we got caught doing something wrong or whatever. It's gonna be, oh, look at them. I told you this is what they do, right? All praise to the Most High. That hasn't happened, and Most High willing, it won't happen. All right, let's go to verse 26.
Verse 26. Let them be ashamed and brought to confusion together that rejoice at my heart, at my hurt. Let them be clothed with shame and dishonor that magnify themselves against me.
Okay, so let's go to the next verse. That next verse. The next video. What's going on with Straightway right now?
From Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 News at 6.
Well, our top story here tonight at 6, a young boy considered missing for more than 2 weeks has been found safe, and his parents, including a former Colts player, are now in jail. Daniel and Kristen Muir walked out of court after a judge denied them bond during their initial hearing today.
And Slakia, I thought it was an unbelievable play on words from Yahweh Shem Yahushai that, people are considering them a cult. Like this, you get paid, you give me all your money, I'm the supreme leader, I'm the one that's going to get you out of the curses. You know what I'm saying? It says, no man shall buy you, no man shall save you. In Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, he said, in order to get out of these curses, you got to follow me. Look what I'm doing. That's his mind state. But so they consider these people a cult. They're in a cult, and here he is. This guy's a Colts player. Just an unbelievable play on words. Let's continue.
We have team coverage here on this story, from the charges that the couple faces to our exclusive footage of this morning's raid, to a look at the group behind the compound where he was found. Up first, we turn to our Michael Van Scoik with a look at the Muir's court appearance just this afternoon. Mike.
This afternoon, the judge denied bond for former Indianapolis Colt Daniel Muir and his wife, Kristen Muir, during their initial hearing here at the Cass County Courthouse. Judge Stephen Kitts says the two are considered a flight risk. Now, during that hearing, you could see Daniel Muir was visibly upset by this decision. He was audibly also heard making remarks of frustration to his attorneys. Daniel is charged with domestic battery and obstruction of justice. Kristen is also charged with obstruction of justice. Defense attorneys say Kristen is a nursing mother and asked the judge for the possibility of any GPS monitoring systems from the court. Judge Stephen Kitts says his decision to deny bond has been based on the couple's failure to comply with anything over the past 2 weeks. Daniel Muir's defense attorneys did briefly speak to us on camera, telling us he's shocked by the judge's decision on the bond.
The Muir family, they've been improperly targeted, and they're not guilty of any abuse or illegal activity. They're entitled to their day in court and due process.
Muir's defense attorneys would not go into any other detail about the case. They also wouldn't explain why the pair didn't cooperate with police throughout their investigation. Now, we also received a copy of the probable cause affidavit, which explains how police tried to get in touch with the Muirs. It also explains that law enforcement are investigating other claims of abuse of other children within their care. Meanwhile, the pair are expected to be back in court later this month. There's another hearing over their bond and a no contact order with Bryson. That's scheduled for July 16th at 9 a.m. In Cass County, I'm Michael Van Scoik.
All right. Yeah. Now, as we mentioned, 14-year-old Bryson Muir was found safe during a police raid here this morning. Fox 59's Eric Graves was the first reporter on scene at the Muir's Logansport property, and he has more tonight from the Cass County Jail.
For the time being, Daniel and Kristen Muir will remain here in the Cass County Jail. They were brought here this morning after police raided their property in Logansport. We were the only station there to capture police as they conducted that search. This is video we shot exclusively Wednesday morning showing state police covering one entrance to this remote, large Logansport property, marked with signs saying, "Welcome to Straightway Indiana Goshen," a religious group headquartered in Tennessee. Law enforcement had rifles at the ready as an armored IMB SWAT vehicle sat inside the fence. Multiple SWAT teams, canines, and a bomb squad began a raid of the homestead-like property with multiple homes this morning at 6 o'clock. Just minutes into the operation, law enforcement found Bryson Muir, teen missing since June 16th, safe
And ultimately, after 3 weeks of, reaching out, he was found located. Definitely win in our books.
We saw this IMPD SWAT vehicle leaving the property through the gate that appeared to be damaged after their entrance. An officer inside the vehicle coming over the loudspeaker to thank the people inside the property for their cooperation. ISP Sergeant Stephen Glass says a lot of planning went into the raid executed before the sun came up, especially since they didn't know how the Muirs and others on the property would react.
There was some question whether or not they would be cooperative or not. However, it went smoothly for the most part.
The Muirs property is just off US Highway 24 in Logansport. Bryson's parents, Daniel and Kristen Muir, left in handcuffs. They're pictured here in their mugshots, taken early this morning at the Cass County Jail. Former Colts player Daniel Muir is charged with obstruction of justice and domestic battery. State police say the second charge is from injuries Bryson's grandmother reported to police on June 16th. Kristen Muir is charged with obstruction of justice. As we reported, the Muir parents have had little communication with state police about their son, even backing out of a meeting last Friday, just before a silver alert was issued for the teen. The pair appeared in court today. We talked to Cass County Prosecutor Noah Schaefer after the arrest.
Level 6 felonies carry a potential penalty of up to 2.5 years in jail, and fines as well.
As for what's next, the Muir parents were not granted bond on site of a flight risk. Bryson is now in DCS custody, but there could be more children DCS is looking into.
I do know that DCS has an open case that involves a number of juveniles.
Neighbors we talked to around the Muirs property did not want to go on camera this morning. One neighbor telling us she heard the helicopters overhead early on this morning. And when she turned on the news, she was not surprised to see what was happening. Another neighbor telling us through his doorbell that he wanted nothing to do with his neighbors. Reporting in Logansport, I'm Eric Graves.
Eric, thank you. Now, the property where this raid took place this morning, you see it here, it's associated with Straightway Truth Ministries, a religious organization based in Tennessee that some have labeled a cult.
Yeah, that's right. Fox 59's Max Lewis has been digging into the public records and learning more about this organization and the group leader's response to today's raid.
You better believe the Straightway is not going to be taking any of this lying down. We coming. You better believe we coming.
Pastor Dowell claimed the allegations against the Muirs are false, but offered no explanation as to why they refused to cooperate with investigators.
The blowback from a false allegation probably ain't going to be too good.
Dowell is the leader of Straightway Truth Ministries, based in Tennessee. According to their website, they believe in a life separated from mainstream society and advocate for a return to biblical law. There have been some accusations that the group is a cult. A Straightway Ministry sign sits in front of the property that was raided this morning, but who actually owns the property is less clear. The 120-plus acre compound is about 70 miles north of Indianapolis, just to the west of Logansport in Cass County. It's made up of 6 parcels that were all purchased back in 2020 by either former Colts defensive end Robert Mathis or Daniel Muir. They spent nearly $2 million purchasing the land, and then in November of last year, each of those parcels was transferred over to the Servant Leaders Foundation. We couldn't find any registered business or nonprofit with that name. The foundation lists a Kokomo address, which we trace back to a P.O. box at this UPS store. Despite the connection, state police said today there is no ongoing investigation into the religious groups.
Regardless of the religious foundations or affiliations, that's, beside the fact. We're still going to treat it going after Bryson, regardless of the religion.
In Cass County, Max Lewis, Fox 59 News.
Now, this is a story we'll continue to stay on top of. Most importantly, though, we now know Bryson was found this morning, and state police say he appeared to be safe and well.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so let's go to Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 17. Now, even though this guy has plenty of videos about camps and what we're doing wrong in life, so forth and so on, all camps. I don't think he really, this person, this camp or that camp, he just kind of bunched us all together. Even though, he does that, when stuff like this happens, it's not to have a party and rejoice, it's really the judgment of the Most High, and it's something we all can learn from. Keep in mind that they had the SWAT teams with guns out, because this guy really talks about arming up, you know what I mean? He's big on guns and training and everything like that. But regardless of that, doing something you have no business doing, in Esau's kingdom will get you raided. You know what I mean? They're coming with the SWAT. They're coming with everything, you know, to take down God's chosen people. All right. So that's why we follow these laws, statutes, commandments. We stay out of that, you know, that the sights of Esau. And not to say, you know, Jacob's trouble pops off, you know, this is what it is. But up until then, you know, we follow the rule of law in the Bible, and it's this pretty much similar, right, to the laws of the United States. All right, so let's bring that out. Proverbs 24 and 17.
Khan, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 17. When everybody have it, please say Khan.
God.
Verse 17. Rejoice not when thy enemy falleth, and let not thy heart be glad when he stumbled.
So we're not talking about Esau. When Esau stumbled, yeah, you know, we're going to be partying and dancing and all that. Not talking about that. We're talking about of our own people. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, verse 18.
Verse 18. Lest the Lord see it, and it to please him, and he turn away his wrath from him.
So you happy and enjoying the Most High? Like, well, what are you laughing at? What did you do yesterday? What did you do last week? Like, oh, we ain't got to talk about that. You know what I mean? So, you know, the Most High is going to judge situations. All right. Just when he does, you know, it's nothing to, you know, you know what I mean? Laughing and all that. You know, hopefully that brother repents. Hopefully they repent from hating their brother in their heart. You know what I'm saying? And get those heathens away from you. Okay. Now let's go to Sirach chapter 4, verse 30. This is the last video. And we'll hold on to Sirach chapter 4, verse 30. We'll play this. Same thing, just different. It's a different broadcast.
This morning, a former Indianapolis Colts player and his wife are in jail accused of several crimes in connection to their son, who was missing for 2 weeks. His father, Daniel Muir, is facing a domestic battery charge. He and his wife, Kristen, are both charged with obstruction of justice. So they're being held without bond. Police.
And you got to think about that, being held without bond because they're a flight risk, okay, for a battery. That's because they're Israelites. Do you know what I'm saying? Of course, they were obstructing justice. You know, the cops wanted to talk to him. They wouldn't talk to him. But, you know, like Donald Trump is a flight risk. He's a convicted felon 34 times over, and he got his bond. You know what I mean? He never spent like a day in jail. He took his picture and he left out. You know, and he caused an insurrection at a daggone Capitol. So just, you know, keep these things in mind. You know what I mean? When Esau gets you, he's going to grab hold of you and not let you go. You know what I mean? That's why we got to continue to be close to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, sin less, you know, to the point where, you know, we're aiming for perfection. So, you know, could we possibly minimize things of this nature. And of course, you know, you don't want to punch your 12-year-old in the eye. You know what I'm saying? That eye looked pretty raw. Okay. You know, discipline your child, but, you know, punch him in the face, you know, that's not discipline. That's abuse.
Tell us SWAT raided their property early yesterday morning, where Daniel leads a religious group in Logansport looking for their son, Bryson Muir. Thankfully, we are told that he is safe. Right now, police say the Muirs have been uncooperative since the beginning of this investigation. 13 News spoke to the Muirs' lawyer at the courthouse. He tells us they're not guilty of the charges.
The Muir family, they've been improperly targeted, and they're not guilty of any abuse or illegal activity. They're entitled to their day in court and due process. Thank you.
Now, the couple will be in the Cass County Jail until at least July 16th. Another hearing is set to review their bond. The Mears trial is also set now for November 4th. Bryson, their son, we know now is in the custody of DCS.
And he said also that they're looking at other children that are being abused there as well. You know what I mean? With that eye, and grandma seen the eye. Grandma's like, oh, no. There's no way you should have a black eye like that. So grandma called the police. You know what I'm saying? You doing something you ain't got no business doing, you know, all praise to the Most High. You got to get judged on that. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is, you know? And especially now, the closer we get, the more we got to start getting right, you know, stop, you know, doing the things that we think are right in our own eyes, but they're right according to the scriptures. Okay, let's bring that out. Sirach chapter 4, verse 30.
Khan, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 30. When everybody have it, please say Khan. Khan, verse 30. Be not as a lion in thy house, nor frantic among thy servants.
Yeah, don't be a lion in your house, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's walking on eggshells, scared to sneeze, you know what I mean? Scared to cough because you're just going to erupt and react and get emotional. You know what I'm saying? When discipline comes, yeah, of course, you discipline your children, but, you know, punch them in the eye and giving them a black eye and all that other stuff, that's not discipline. That's you losing control and you being emotional and you not being able to control yourself. You know what I mean? Lack of self-control. It's called what it is. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my happened to me when I was growing up. It happened to my father when he was growing up. But there's a line between discipline and abuse. Okay. Here at HOI, we're not advocating that you abuse your children. You know, you discipline your children, but if you don't know the difference between abuse and discipline, hey man, it's time for a counsel. You know, it's time to sit down and have a conversation. Okay, you ain't got to be beating your child every time they spill some water. You know what I mean? Have an accident or something like that. You know what I mean? Child has an accident in his bed, you beating the child. You know, that child's going to grow up to be resentful and angry, and he's going to take it out on the world. So, you know, if you keep passing along these curses to your children, it's time to cut it out. All right, it's time to stop. Okay, and watch what you say, because your words, you know, can ultimately be used against you. Not necessarily in a court of law, but you're on the internet talking crazy about other Israelites, and your fruit and their fruit, and look who the Most High is going to judge, and then ultimately things like this happen. And this isn't the first time. This place is like spiraling out of control right now, with people leaving and talking about the things that were happening behind those walls. All right. But let's continue to follow the law, statutes, commandments. You know, we got next, you know, Kwame Yashala. We're going to pray before I cut off the live. So if everybody will either stand or prostrate, face the east, I'm going to say the Lord's Prayer to close it out. But everybody that's on, stay on. All right, so this is the Lord's Prayer in Paleo Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malafwaka, Daba'a, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Baorataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nadananawa, Lacham, Kau, Yowom, Wasalafnawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalafnawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'a, Dabianawa, Banasai 1, Abo, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa Allah, Wa Tapala Ruf, Labulumnum, This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Khan, Hum Yasha'Allah, all praises to the Most High. Hopefully, the Wednesday wake-up call was edifying, learn some new things, learn that, of course, will reinforce the fact that we're in the last days and all these things are going to continue to happen and will advance at a rapid pace. Didn't even really get a chance to talk about what's going on in Russia and Ukraine and Hezbollah and Israel, you know, so it's much more information. Just can't be here all night talking about it, but Most High willing, still here, lights are still on. We will talk more